He is Alpharius.
Spiking bits.
Welcome back, Hobby Maniacs. I'm Baer, and today we are unboxing and building Alpharius. That's right, we've got Alpharius all the way over from Warhammer Fest. He's not even available on Forge World's site yet. I looked at my receipt. Now you know my secrets. I record this part after I do the rest of the video. My receipt says he was 75 pounds, which I don't think there is another Primarch that's 75 pounds. I think they're all either 60 or 80 or 70. But this one's 75. I don't make the rules. Maybe that was the show price. Who knows? Regardless, we got him. He is very cool looking, and I cannot wait to unbox and build this bad boy for you. So here he is. Mr. Alpharius himself in Horus Heresy collector's box. There you can see a little UPC on the back. Now this isn't currently up for sale on Forge World's website. We got a kind of a show copy, so to speak, from Warhammer Fest. Special thanks to my friend Darren for scooping that up for me. Super appreciate it. But here he is, and the instructions. Now I do have a bit of a little disclaimer to make. Have already washed it here, so I'm going to show you a picture of what it looks like actually coming out of the box and not already broken down into all of its pieces that you see right here. But we're still going to take a look at all of the pieces because they are quite spectacular. So here's what the model will look like straight out of the box. I have no way to bring up a cursor here, unfortunately, so we're just going to have to visualize that there's a little arrow on the screen and I'm pointing to things. Obviously the torso is in the middle there, and then you can see where the arms going off to the left, the head, the spear tip there, the parts of the bases are on the top left and the top right. So it's gonna mount on a 60 mil and then have a 40 mil underneath it, which we're gonna show you. Right above that is the backpacks, the casualty on the bottom. Right there, his cape down towards the bottom of the screen, and over to the right of that you can see the hands, the targeter, the over 9,000 targeter that's going to go on his head, his shoulder pads, and his tabard. So back to the instructions. Now you have a little bit more of an appreciation of where all the parts go. You can see the spear tip is kind of a two-part deal here. His grenade and accessories go on his belt. Then he's got his arms, his over 9,000 targeter goes right on his head right here. That is a small and very fiddly piece. I almost washed it down the drain accidentally when I was washing the miniature. There's his tabard on the back here. You can see kind of the configuration of things as well. The backpack, I have no idea what that number 9 is. What is that? Right rear protruges. Oh, those little rim and flap things. Okay. And then the base construction up here. Casualty with his looks like 2 arms and a backpack. Pretty straightforward judging by this. So we'll start off with a bang with the torso itself. Now I can't say enough good things about the quality of this particular miniature here. I mean, all of those scales, like, this is what sets GW apart from all of its competitors. The ability to actually make stuff like this. Each one of those scales is individually rendered. I doubt by hand. Well, by hand on the computer, of course. But I mean, it's just so good looking, like, so spectacular. It's just ridiculous. Like, you try doing that with a brush. Now imagine try doing that with a sculpting tool, which is the same thing as doing it by the brush, but you can be a little bit more precise when you're doing it on a computer. It's just amazing to actually see in your hand all the rivets, all the knurling and everything back here, the segmented rear armor sections, and the scales go all over this, and then you got some power feeds and stuff on the back there. I mean, it's literally incredible. I mean, look at this piece right here, this little targeter, this over 9,000 targeter, ridiculously small. Like, something like that, it's very hard to do by hand. It's amazing to see. Now his backpack kind of reminds me of Ahriman's backpack, to be quite honest, but it's also very well done with tons of scale work and everything right on it. And all of these pieces, I mean, look at these sockets, they just socket right in. His arms and everything like that, just boom. We're gonna build this here in a minute, so we're gonna give you our gotchas to look out for. I'm already thinking that this little tabard piece, it's gonna go on the back underneath the cape, might be a little bit of a problem, but I hope not. Now here's one of his arms, again with all of those crazy looking scale work on it. I mean, it's just incredible. Now we don't have a price for this guy yet. He's probably They're either 60 pounds or up to 80 pounds. Some are 60, some are 70, some are 80. So it'll kind of fall anywhere in there, I suppose. I guess I could look at my receipt and see what I actually paid for it. That would probably be a smarter idea. So at one of these cuts, I will definitely do that. I just thought of that. I actually have my receipt just in case there was any parts missing. I could get them replaced. There's a spear tip and one of the shoulder pads as well that has all the fine detail work in there that you've come to expect from Forge World. And check out this cape. Cape is incredible. Look, it's got a Hydra like sculpted into the folds of the cape right there, going all the way across. Like, just incredible stuff. Very, very. It's just, you just don't see stuff like this. And you know, when you buy a miniature that is this expensive, it's really kind of awe-inspiring just to see all this stuff come together. Now, how it's going to go together on the base, which we're going to do here in a minute, and I think I might have to leave this actually out because these generally you have to magnetize them, because what's going to happen is you're going to have this piece, and this piece actually slots in. Yeah, it doesn't go straight down into here, so it's kind of weird how all this works. We're going to have to come up with a system for that, or I might not just glue it down, because then you can't have it to actually display the miniature itself, to actually play with it. And then this locks in here at some rotational angle of some sort. So I had a little bit of a brainstorm. I figured this is the correct configuration of the bottom base here. Figured put some magnets down here. Now we're not going to do that today, but obviously you can just glue some magnets into here, right? And then what's going to happen is you would glue some magnets in the side, some thin ones, probably like 1/8 of an inch or so. And that way you'll be able to slide this out at least. And then it would also attach to the base itself if you put some 1/8 inch magnets in there, like maybe 1 or 2, but you got to be careful because it's going to be really thin right there. That aside, this is how the base configures. Like I said, we're not going to glue it down. We're not going to worry about magnets right now because I think everybody wants to see Alpharius. Now, I glued the casualty guy together, and he isn't Space Wolf specific. He can be any legion right there. So you can do, you know, if you wanted to do Imperial Fist or something, like when he fights Dorn, you can almost do any legion that you want, and then just mount him, paint him separate, and then mount him right into here as he's getting ready to spear him in the back. So that's the configuration of the base. So here's where we're at so far. We got most of the body together right here that you can see. Again, once you start assembling this guy, gorgeous. I just stopped and I looked at all the detail on it. It's literally incredible. But it actually gets better because there's the segmented shoulder pad, cataphractii, I guess, shoulder pad that's going to go on here. Now there's 2 of them, and you can see the little snake points forward, so that's where that's going to go. But I wanted to show y'all before we actually put it on there, just, you know, how it looks already. It starts to get a lot busier, a lot quicker. Then this front tabard here is going to connect very easily. It literally just like locks in, so I'm not going to glue it on because that could be painted separately. Whoever ends up with this, or if I decide to paint it, that would probably be a good candidate to paint separately. And then on the back here, you're going to see these 2 tabs to the left and right of the backpack where the ape actually locks in. And even if you put, let's make sure we get the right one here. That one. So that one goes right there. That it still is able to lock in. Now the only issue that I've seen so far is the spear here. That is a little bit bowed, so we're going to have to go heat this up and come back and report on that because it doesn't quite lock in. So I'm going to have to take this whole figure, well, it does lock in, it's just not straight. And then the spear tip itself isn't quite straight, so we're going to have to do a little bit of trimming, but not too bad right there. So overall, I'm happy with it. It's just going to take a little bit of heat, a little bit of bending, and some real quick water quenching to get that nice straight, perfectly flush spear wedge eft all together right there, and so we can get some pineapple gnarling painted up on that one right there. Oh, and the piece on the head actually went on pretty easily right there. The over 9,000 targeter looks just fine, and then this can actually be socketed in any number of ways. It's not a particular way. So we're gonna go work on these arms real quick and come back. So we got that all done. The spear looks amazing in his hands right there. It's probably gonna need a little bit of an adjustment right there. I'll have to go back and do that, but that's no big deal. I'm pretty happy with the way it came out right there, all at the right angles. So we had to do a little bit of a shimmy and adjust this arm up a little bit to lock it in between the two heights. But it turns out, I think they know that that's a thing, because the cataphractii shoulder pad on the back kind of covers it up. And once you lock in the cape that goes in there up into those slots, it should be just fine. And there shouldn't be any issue whatsoever. I'm going to have to do that off camera real quick and make sure it lines up. Oh, and that little, the little Roman kind of tabard things, we're going to call them pterodactyl tabards, because I know they start with a P and the P is silent. So we're just going to go pterodactyl because that's the word I know how to say, and I can never say the other word. That goes right up in there, and then the front goes on there as well. Those probably should be left off to be painted separate. Now, as far as the base and getting this guy on here, I blue tacked it all together just so we could get a good idea of how this is going to look once we get Alpharius mounted to it. And it's going to go something like that right there. And getting ready to strike down in furious anger a legionnaire right there. So man, this diorama is probably one of the most action-packed, besides, I don't know, maybe like Lehman Russ and Angron, but I definitely love the posing and the styling. In the past 7 years that Forge World's been making these Primarchs, I think Angron came out in November of 2011. I mean, they have definitely come a very long way. Now let's take a look real quick, since we're all still here, right, at how big he is compared to a normal Space Marine. So Space Marine barely comes up to his shoulders, and one of those new 2-wound Space Marines. Oh my, is that 2-wound Space Marine comes up to his chinny chin chin, it looks like. That's really interesting. Them Primarchs, almost big enough to wear the pants in the 40k universe. So that's about it for this unboxing and review of Alpharius, or is he? If you like these type of features, make sure you work out those hobby muscles. Turn on notifications after hitting that subscribe button for all these great videos.
Deleted scenes, bonus content, and all the interviews and post-game wrap-up videos can be located in the Hall of Veterans on thelongwar.net. Visit thelongwar.net today and try a week completely free with no strings attached. That's not all. TheLongWar.net is also your hobby resource for exclusive early access with an ad-free experience to all your favorite videos. Members of the Hall of Veterans gain early exclusive access to multiple hobby videos,